Hello everyone, welcome to channel Qtomation. Today's session we will see one more program which is frequently asked during interview. Finding most repeated character in string. Let's say if we have to find out in our string, input string, which character is mostly repeated. So we have to find out the most repeated character in the string. So now let's see practically how we can find out which character is most repeated in a string. So let's go to PyCharm. Let's create a new Python file. I'm naming it as most repeated character in string. So we have created a Python file now. Let's take one input. For example, I'm taking my string equals to aggregator. Now this is the string. My string equals to aggregator. From this string, what is the expected output? We want output in this string which is the most repeated character. If you see, G is the most repeated character. So our output should give most repeated character is G. So this is the expected output. Now let's see how we can perform this. So first we have to find out in the string frequency of occurrence of every character. So we have to first find out frequency of every character which is repeated. Basically we want to first find out, we can store it in one dictionary. In dictionary we can find out which character is repeated how many times. So for that first step is we have to create one empty dictionary. So we have to first declare one empty dictionary. I have declared one empty dictionary now. Next step is iteration. So we will use for loop. Let me quickly write it. For I in my string, so it will take each character in each iteration, and after that we will write one more statement. If I in my underscore dict, that is our dictionary, so we are checking if I is present in my dictionary. If it is present, that means we are going to increase my dictionary of I equals to, let me just write it, then I will just explain it, plus 1, else my dictionary of I equals to 1. So let me just explain it. So what we are doing here is, in the first iteration what will happen? For I in my string, so A will be stored in I. So let me quickly just show you. So in the first iteration, let's say I is A, so I in my string, so I will become A. Then we are checking if A is present in my dictionary. Is it present? Initially my dictionary is empty, so A is not present in my dictionary, so it will not go to if condition, it will go to else block. And what is else block? My dictionary of I equals to 1, that means my dictionary of A will become 1. So now our my underscore dictionary will be like this. Initially it will be like this, so it will be having A with the value of 1 in the first iteration. Now next iteration will occur. For I in my string, next value is G. So G will be stored in I. Then we are checking if G is present in my dictionary. Is it present in my dictionary? If you see here, it is not present. That means again it will go to else block. In the else block, my dictionary of G will become 1. So now here again, my dictionary of G will have value as 1. In the next iteration, which value will be stored in I? Again G will be stored. If you see A, G, G, G will be stored in I. It will check if G is present in my dictionary. Is it present in my dictionary? Yes. If you see, it is present with the value as 1. So what will happen? It will go to if block only. If G is present in my dictionary, that means my dictionary of G will become my dictionary of G, that is initial value is 1 plus 1. So it will become 2. Now the next iteration will occur. In the next iteration again, what is the value? R. Is it present in my dictionary? No. So it will go to else block. So it will add my dictionary of R equals to 1. So again next value will come R equals to 1. 1 is going to be a value of this R, right? So the dictionary contains key value pairs. So A is a key, 1 is a value. So every time this iteration will occur up to we reach to the last point. So at the end what will happen? It will count how many times every character has repeated. So what we will do is at the end of the iteration, end of the for loop, we are going to simply print my dictionary. Now let's see, when we print my underscore dict, what is the output? So let me just run this file. If you see, this is the output. So it is exactly showing how many times A is repeated in my string, how many times G is repeated in my string, and so on. It will check for every character. So this is the output which we are getting by printing the my dictionary. So our half part is done here. So we have found out how many times every character is repeated in our string. Now what is the next step? We want to find out which is the most repeated character. That means we want to find out which is the most repeated character, means which has the most repeated count here. Who is having the maximum count here? Which one is having maximum count in our count values? So for that we are going to use dot items method on dictionary. So we are going to use dot item method. So what it will give you as a output? So let me just show you the output of dot items method first. Print my dictionary dot items method. I am just first printing the output of my dictionary dot items method. So let's execute this. If you see the output here, it basically returns or print my dictionary dot items method prints the list of tuples, and every tuple is a key value pair of our original dictionary. It prints list of tuples where every key value pair is one tuple here. So this is the output which we are getting here. It returns or it prints the list of tuples, and every tuple is a key value pair in our dictionary. So now what we can do is we can use iteration on these items to find out which one is the maximum count, and the maximum count means we will get that specific character. If you see, if we can find out which is the maximum count here, and corresponding key will be the most repeated character. So for that we have to again use one for loop. So we will simply use for. Now we can use two iterator. For example, one iteration will be check. So first variable I'm just taking as a character, and second one I am taking as a count. So character will be checked for character, and count will be checking for count for every tuple value. So every tuple is containing one key and value. So I will just use for character comma count inside for character comma count in my dictionary dot items, and then we will check. Before that we have to do one more thing. So first I am just defining one variable max count which is equal to 0, and most repeated character mrc equals to none initially. So I have defined two variables. First one is for maximum count and second one is for most repeated character. Initially max count is having 0 value, most repeated character is having none value. I am just commenting the above part. This we don't need, so I am just commenting it. So after defining this, what we can do is we can check if in the for loop we are checking if my count is greater than max count. If count is greater than max count, then what we will do, we will assign that count value to max count. Max count equals to count value, and again if that count is maximum, that means that specific character is going to be a most repeated character. So I will just assign most repeated character equals to char, and then so I will just show you. So let's see in the iteration process. So in the first iteration, what will happen? For character will be a, count will be 2. Is my count greater than max count? Yes, because 2 is greater than 0. So what will happen? Max count will become count. So count value will assign to max count. So now let's say max count. What will be max count? Max count will be 2 and character will be a in the first iteration, right? Now in the next iteration, again it will check for G and for 3. Is count greater than max count? Is 3 greater than 2? Yes. So what will happen? Max count equals to count. So count will be assigned to max count. So count, max count value will become 3 and character value will become G. Now the next iteration. For R and 2. So R will be char and 2 will be count. Is count greater than max count? Count value is 2. Max count value is 3. So is 2 greater than 3? No. So it will not enter in if block. It will go to next iteration. For E, E will be stored in char. 1 will be stored in count. Is 1 greater than 3? No. So again it will not go to if else block, if block. It will go to next iteration. T. So char will be T and 1 will be count. Is 1 greater than max count? No. 1 is not greater than 3. So again it will not go to if block. It will go for T. Again for T it will not go to a if block. And again for O also it will not, it for 0 also. So for this one also it will not, for O also it will not go to if block. So eventually max count value will remain 3 and char value which is assigned to MRC will remain G, because that is the maximum and most repeated character. So if we can simply print outside of the for loop, we are going to print most repeated character is comma MRC. That is going to be a most repeated character. So this is, we can run the program. Let's execute this program. Most repeated character is G. So it is giving the expected output. So this is giving us the expected output. Now what we can do is we can simply change the string and let's see what is the output which we get. Now instead of aggregator, I am just simply putting AAA, CCCC, BBB, DDD. Now in this string, which is the most repeated character? C is the most repeated, right? C occurred 4 times. So let's execute this program. Most repeated character is C. So this is giving expected output. So this is the simple program to find out most repeated character in the string. Thank you for watching this program.